When I was in, I guess, 7th grade, I ran track at my middle school. And one day, I was feeling off, like, I didn't want to run, which, normally you don't want to run, but it was like I could not run that day. And so I went around and I was running my laps, and I felt super, super just weird. I went to my coach, and by about the time that I could get to him, I had collapsed. I passed out. So my parents were informed, and so we kind of just brushed it off. Sometimes that kind of stuff just happens. So when I was in 8th grade, I went to my pediatric office, and they referred me to a Vanderbilt pediatrics cardiologist. And so there I was diagnosed with cardiogenic syncope. I'll have a sudden drop in blood pressure, blood sugar, or heart rate. And I have to really be careful because, depending on the certain situations, you just can't pass out.
It wasn't until I was 10 years old, just going in for a regular checkup, that my pediatrician just looked and stared at me in the eyes and was kind of scared, and he was like, "Can you please lay down for a second and let me listen to your heart?" But they came back with the results that I had an atrial septic defect. And they told me that I had to have open heart surgery within the next year as soon as possible. June 10th rolls around, and I finally have my open heart surgery, and I'm 11 at the time. And it's supposed to be only a 4-hour surgery, but it ended up being closer to about 8 hours. So while I was in the hospital, every day it was a struggle for me to survive, just because every day kept passing on with the chest tubes in me, my heart kept slowing down, and they weren't aware of what was happening. But I made it.
I was diagnosed with neurocardiogenic syncope in the 8th grade. I was taken out of gymnastics because of that, but they didn't want to put me on medicine because I was so young. So I still was able to play sports and do things of that nature, but I did have to go through a lot of testing, which was really hard. I guess since I was so young, I didn't really let it affect me as much as some people do, and I just still continue to do what I wanted to do. And I mean, it still affects me sometimes to this day. Sometimes I do have blackouts, I do get super dizzy sometimes, and I kind of just have to watch what I do. But other than that, I still feel I'm able to live a normal life just like everyone else, even though I do have this heart condition.
Well, as I was saying, I was born with a heart murmur, and it evolved after about 18 years into mitral valve prolapse, which is still a hole in the heart, and they wanted to fix it, and I said no. I had 2 heart attacks. The doctor said that I had a ejection fraction, which is how the heart works, or how the heart functions, and at 19%, which is 81% lower than it should be. They said I had an enlarged heart, and I believe that. I have a pacemaker and a defibrillator that were put in October of 2016, and I've been pretty healthy since. I'm still here. I'm still walking, I'm still vertical. I'm not pushing up the daisies yet. Like I said, here at MTSU is probably the best 3 years of my life.
I ran track for 6 years, and honestly, I had my ups and downs. I passed out over the finish line before, but it was still I still made it through. I didn't let it get in the way of anything that I wanted to do. So I feel if you just push through, but still monitor what you're doing, then I think you'll be fine.
It might seem so scary at the moment right now, but you have people that support you and that'll be there for you, and everything will be okay.
If something feels off, definitely do something about it. If I wouldn't have been persistent with my parents and stuff like that, I'm not sure that we ever would have found this out. Trust your gut, because you know best.